We want our industry to be positioned as well as we can for the next 5 years to take advantage of the strong demand we have now and grow and sustain the good demand we have. So there's a real need to come together and collaborate on a strategy and a plan going forward.
It's a coming together of the industry to look down the road on what really the industry needs to do and where we need to get to in more of a strategic visionary approach.
And that's not to say that the industry hasn't worked together in the past. They certainly have on a number of issues. This just formalizes the process into a format that we haven't experienced before, but maybe never had to before. We were worried about the day-to-day operations, and cold out here today, so we'd worry about frozen water bowls and making sure the cows get fed. But as a producer, that wasn't necessarily the right answer. We actually needed to have played a greater role in the industry, been more involved to help make those decisions.
We've always had and had some sort of a plan that's been reactionary at most times, and to no fault of our own, on dealing with what we're dealing with on markets or droughts or nature. It's a business plan. It's an opportunity to put together a strategic plan, but it's really a business plan.
And I think that there's an understanding now that we can be stronger working on certain issues together. I mean, we've got our realities that each of our own industries or sectors of the industry have, but working together, we're hoping that we can take advantage of the opportunities.
I think the opportunities are many. There's opportunities for growth. There's opportunities for new research.
We're seeing an increase in the middle class in some of the developing nations, around the world.
There's a huge protein demand in the world right now, and we want to position ourselves to help fill that need. Our herd has contracted about 25%.
We've seen our numbers drop back to levels we haven't seen since the early to mid-90s.
If it was just Canada that was in declining numbers, that would be one thing, but it's a kind of a worldwide thing right now.
There's a feeling that we need to stop that trend. There's opportunities out there, and to be successful, it's going to require the involvement of all the sectors.
We need the cattle herd to expand in order to maintain the infrastructure that we currently have in Canada.
We're looking for specific outcome, that we can measure. I know as a businessman, I feel a lot better about that.
That's where the monitoring and the metrics of monitoring come into play, that we can really hold ourselves up and look at ourselves in the mirror and make sure we're on the right track. And if we're not, then we need to switch gears.
If we want to achieve the goals that we've set, there will have to be an increase in national checkoff. The increase, as we look at it today, with the current levels, the current targets that we've set, we estimate will cost us about $1.50 per head checkoff for every animal across Canada.
The national checkoff hasn't changed since 1994, I believe. Our fund has decreased because of the contraction in the herd size. A reduction in revenue has led to actually times when we have to make critical operational decisions as to whether we can go on an expedition that would be valuable, or whether we can invest in a marketing program.
I truly believe that if you're involved in an organization, a cattle organization that helps to defend policy that's positive, that's friendly to cattle producers, I believe the return can be 9 to 1, 6 to 1. It depends on how you do the numbers, but the return is always substantial. As we move into another market, it might move the return on my animal by maybe only $2 or maybe $5, or it might move the return on my animal, like in 2004, by maybe double the price that I received for that animal when we started opening up markets. With a strategic plan, I believe we can level off some of the lows and make sure that we don't have the massive dips in the cycle that we've had in the past.
Now is a great time because we are profitable.
It's just the time to do it, and it's the opportunity to do it right now, to invest in what we're doing.
Every producer in Canada has a stake in it.
It's an investment in the future, is really what it boils down to.
Why would you not want to invest in what you have for a future?